Okay, Linda's going to share a little bit about our connection with the Shoreline Soup Kitchen and Pantry.
Okay. Can you hear me without the microphone? No? Okay. I'll speak to the microphone. I have a safe speech in my pocket, and then I have the speech from my heart. And I'll be honest with you, I always pretty much say yes, as many of you know who know me, as soon as you ask me to do something. And then I think about afterwards, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with that? And that's exactly what happened when Pastor asked me to talk to you about this. So I'm actually going to ditch my speech, because you guys know that speech. You see it all the time in the bulletin, in the newsletters. Thank you all, you're amazing people, and we are a team. I'm an amazingly flawed person, incredibly flawed. I've been very humbled in my life over and over again. And I realized when Pastor asked me about this, even though I've been involved in it for close to 15 years, I've never publicly spoken about it before. And sometimes the things that are nearest to our heart are the hardest to talk about. And that's this one for me. So bear with me if I'm oversharing and a little too emotional, because this is the speech I told myself last night I wasn't going to give. But Pastor somehow got in my head, and he got it in the sermon. I just knew I had to. So we know the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and self-control. And sometimes those things have been very active in my life, and I've been there when I've been close to God. And sometimes my patience, self-control, kindness aren't there. I'm one of those people that church is great for me, but really I feel most connected to God when I serve. I used to be a Christian school teacher. After that, I don't know, I had tons of Sunday school, all that kind of stuff, and worked with kids a lot. But it really wasn't until I came to St. Paul about 15 years ago and started working with amazing people in the soup kitchen that I really found the place where I could serve, and where, honestly, I finally feel like God works through me. And I'm amazingly humbled by that, because I'm the kind of person that doesn't want to put that fish sticker on the back of my car because I'm afraid that I might do something bad and be a bad reflection of Christ. Because I'm definitely flawed. So I love what we do there. I'll be honest with you, I'm a family and consumer science teacher. I now teach people how to cook. 15 years ago, I couldn't cook. Doris taught me how to cook. Melissa welcomed me with open arms, brought me into this group, taught me how to cut, taught me how to chop, taught me how to do all those things. And back in those days, we used to serve about 50 people a big lunch, kind of what Mr. Neuman does now, because we had lower numbers. Unfortunately, with the economy, our numbers blew up, and we were serving over 200 people at a certain point. We just really couldn't manage doing a lunch anymore, and unfortunately, at a certain point, we had to start turning people away. We turned it into breakfast so that we could help more people. So that's what we actually do today. We serve between 75 and 210 people, depending on the week that we get. St. Paul's been involved since really the beginning. So we do jump in and pitch hit a lot. So just like a couple weeks ago, I sent out that email, we're going to just do it, wing it, we're going to just do it. And we jumped in and did it, and you guys came, and thank you. Thank you also for the amazing support financially. I have always tried to make our budget. We always have, and that's because of you guys. I've never had to not bring food. I've brought toothbrushes and toothpaste and all those things on Halloween and stuff, just because you've been so much generous and there's been extra money. So thank you. Thank you for all of you guys who pray for us, because we need it. I don't know how we've ever not run out of food, and that's only God's grace. We don't run out of food, and that shouldn't happen when you see people walking in the door over and over again. It's an incredible intergenerational thing. We have amazing kids, one of them who won't look at me right now, who work very, very hard. My own children, I started doing this when Gavin was a baby, and he's been doing it ever since. And, I couldn't do this without the kids. They're amazing, and they just show such a heart for service. Pastor mentioned a few weeks ago the kids at Calumet, his hope. He shared those horrible statistics about how people are leaving the church. But then our children So I want you to know, while the policies of the soup kitchen are that the kids, it kind of looks bad when I write, please have an adult with you. You're welcome, you're wanted, we want you there. It's just for safety reasons and insurance that I have to write that. But please come, you're all welcome. It's not a huge commitment. If you can come for an hour, we're there from 8 to about 10:30. You can come for an hour, come for an hour. You come once a year, come once a year. If it's not your thing, I beg you to try different things in service in our church. Find that thing where you feel that God can work through you. Just serve. If it's praying for us, if it's sewing shawls, which are amazing, and I've had the privilege of giving out to people I love. If it's collecting for the soup kitchen or working with the kids in the homework club, find that thing that speaks to you. I welcome you and want you to be with us. I know sometimes you walk in there, the room feels really crowded. I'm going crazy and running around all over the place. I barely said hello to you. Please don't ever take that the wrong way. It's just usually we're putting out fires all over the place. And I'm trying. You're totally welcome, and we want you to be there. Grab somebody who's been there a long time. There's a lot of incredibly lovely people who have volunteered. And I'm looking out here, and so many of you guys have done it over the years. I also want to mention one person who's no longer with us. And I think this is one of the things that speaks to this ministry and who helped me go through how God can work through you when you're so flawed. Many of you know Pete Hagberg, wonderful, wonderful man. Give me a minute. Sorry. But I felt not in the right place to take this job from Melissa. I didn't feel like I had the qualifications. I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing. And it was a huge job to take over 15 years ago. And you should have seen my list. So man, my list. And Pete was always there by the dishwasher, washing the dishes. And I can't tell you for how many times over all those years, he'd just look at me and smile and say, "You got it." And tell me a story about something he messed up in his life and how God worked through it. And how that's all of us. I don't know, I was searching to be that perfect person so that I could serve God and let Jesus work through me. And he uses all of us and our flaws. So forgive me if this isn't as polished as it should be, but I want you to find that place. And when we go out, like Pastor says, and he's encouraging us to do, when we go out, that's when we're the church. That's when we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So thank you to all of you who have been part of this. Thank you to all of you who have served my family, my children, our community. I thank you for that so, so much. And thank you for welcoming us into this church. And I just really appreciate it. So when I say this is a team, I mean it. And just thank you for letting me be the one to speak about it. So thanks, Pastor.
That long because my poor wife is sitting in the back and she can't hold her breath that long. Okay. When I first told her about you're asking me to do this, her immediate reaction was absolutely not. You cannot do that. You don't know what you're getting into. It's kind of like an opportunity to give a little secondary sermon, which is ironic because my daughter, when she was growing up, always said she thought I would like to have been a pastor because I certainly love giving her sermons. The Shoreline Soup Kitchen, everybody's heard the name and the term, but what the Shoreline Soup Kitchen is an interfaith agency that serves the Shoreline community from Madison, Clinton area up through East Line. It operates food pantries, meal sites in all of the towns. All of the sites, the pantries and the meal sites are located in faith agencies, churches. In Saybrook, we have three activities. There is the Heat and Eat program, which meets in Grace Episcopal Church. They prepare food that is frozen meals that are distributed to people. And they meet every Friday, and they prepare probably upwards of 300 meals. Then there is the food pantry, which operates in First Church, also on Main Street. They distribute food on Tuesday afternoons, and they also make food, not frozen food, but meals ready to be distributed, and they also make over 300 meals each week. The food pantry will serve anyone who comes in. There are no requirements, no questions asked. Anyone and everyone who comes in is served enough food for 3 days for everyone in the family. So if they're coming in as a single person, they get 3 meals. Coming in for a family of 3, 4, they still get 3 meals for every person. In addition to that, or the third activity, is the meal site, which is the one that's in Grace Episcopal Church, serves a meal every Wednesday at noontime, and this is the one that we are principally involved with. It is an activity that started about 10 years ago, and we are one of the 4 founding groups that have supported this. We were part of the original formation and have supported it since then. During that time, at the beginning, the attendance was probably 15 people a week. I mean, we weren't well known, it wasn't well advertised. 15 people a week. Over the 10 years, the attendance has grown so that we have at times served over 70 people at Wednesday meals. And I would say that typically the average attendance is probably more like 45 or 50 people. We get a good turnout. The meals that we serve are hard to describe. There's no such thing as a typical meal. I think in the 10 years serving this number of people, we've probably provided 5,000 meals to people. 120 different meals, and in that time, only 2 of them have been soup. So it's a soup kitchen in name, but we generally don't serve soup. What we serve is a meal that I might serve every one of you if you came and joined us for dinner on any night of the week. And in fact, many of the meals that we have served have been meals that I have tried out on different people.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I drive her nuts. Beginning about 2 weeks before our meal, well, what if we tried this? How would that be? What does this sound like? And, finally she gets to the point where I walk into the room and she turns the TV off and says, okay, now what? But our meals are different. I think they're mostly well received. I don't know how to describe it. Well, as I said, we serve about 50 people a week. The average cost of a meal is about $3 per person. $3 a meal. The people who come to the meal site come for a variety of reasons. Some of them come certainly for economic reasons, the cost of feeding themselves. There is a Head Start program that operates intermittently in Saybrook that has maybe half a dozen or 8 children in it. When they are in session, they come, they bring the children's parents, and some of the staff. There are people who come to the meal for a variety of emotional reasons. Then there is also a fairly significant group of seniors who come. Some of them perhaps for financial reasons, but I think many of them for the fellowship. It's a place where they can come, they can relax, they can get fed, and they leave and I hope they're happier than when they came. I hope that a number of the people that come because they expect to get a good meal. I guess the last thing I'd like to talk about is just the team of volunteers that we have. We have a large group of volunteers from this congregation, probably a dozen or so who participate at least on a regular or semi-regular basis. We have some who have been participants since the beginning, 10 years ago, have rarely missed a meal. It's sort of a rotating group. People come when they are available. anybody would like to come and to participate, Kim usually puts a notice in the e-news before our meal, and it's got my name, phone number, email address, so, you know, anybody that's interested, please just contact me. I got the signal. She told me to keep my eyes on her, because if I get a signal, I'm supposed to sit down and stop. What we get from St. Paul is a ready group of willing volunteers and financial support, reimbursement for the cost of the meal. I don't know if there's anything more I should add.
Thank you.
Thank you.